begin to bring yourself inwards. Elongating the spine. Relaxing the neck, the shoulders, the jaw. Relaxing all the facial muscles. Start to firm in Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Making the inhales and the exhales the same length. Using the sound of Ujjayi. And see if you can lengthen the breathing so you can really feel the thoracic cage moving in 3 dimensions with each breath. Try to sit out of the way so you have a nice little lumbar curve so you're not sinking down into the pelvis. Make sure you can hear your breathing. And bring the palms in front of the chest. You can give yourself an intention for this class. Any intention that feels appropriate for you at this time. If nothing comes to mind, you can use the breath. So that every time the mind wanders off, just gently, kindly bring the mind back to the concentration on the breathing. And we'll chant 1 Om, inhaling. Om. And then opening the eyes, release the hands. So we're going to do, to start, we're going to do Simha Mudra, which releases the jaw, the neck muscles, awakens the face, and helps us awaken to be able to do our little practice ahead of us. So you're going to come up onto the knees, and then you cross the ankles, so one ankle over the other. If it's possible, you're keeping the ankles straight, so pointing the toes back, and then you come and you sit back, just so you can see. Can't see, so I've just crossed like that. Yeah, and then I come and I sit back, and the Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor, is into the heel. Okay, so this is not super comfy, but it's going to press Mula Bandha up so that you're starting to send your energy upwards. And if it's really just impossible to stay there, then just put your feet back to the first version. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate the first one. You start with the hands mid-thigh, and then you're going to exhale out of the mouth and stretch the tongue out and down, and then gaze up to the third eye here. So let me show you. So you inhale normally. As you do the exhale, you straighten your arms, you push the hands into the knees, and this helps open the chest. Okay, so we're going to do 5 of those together, and then just sit in a normal position on the feet. Once you finish, just come to sit back with the heels together in a more comfortable version. And then you're going to slide your hands behind you, fingertips towards you, lean back, and then pick up the pelvis. You can let the knees separate a little bit and feel like you're tucking the tailbone under, and then lower down and sit back onto the heels. Okay, so you might stop here, you might stay here, or if you feel like you still have a little bit more flexibility available in the quadriceps and the hip flexors, then maybe you come down onto the forearms. Keep the chin down, tucked in, and then inhale, lift, and you can kind of push the buttock skin, the upper buttock skin, down towards the backs of the knees, so there's no pinching in the lower back. So you're welcome to stay here, or if that's feeling quite comfortable still, maybe you're going to come and lie all the way down. But just make sure that the buttock skin is sliding away from the lower back. And then the last part could be taking the hands on the thighs, pulling the skin up, getting your hip bones, and pulling the hip bones up. And then you can stay here. You can either close the eyes or just find a gazing point. Breathing. If you're not lying down, then keep the chin tucked in so you're not going to hurt your back. Your neck. Okay, we're not going to stay here too long anyways. And then, if you're all the way down, you have to lift your knees slightly, take hold of the shins below the ankles, put the elbows into the floor, keep the chin tucked in, and press into the 2 elbows to come up until you can change the hands. And then you walk your hands forward, coming onto the hands and the knees. Bring the knees a little bit behind the hips, shoulders over the wrists. Stretch out one knee just to release after that stretching. Bend the knee, stretch out the other knee. And replace the knee back. We're going to do these kind of mini upward dogs and puppy poses. So you inhale, you can slide forward, open the chest, drop the spine down. Exhale, press into the fingertips, bringing the sitting bones towards the heels. You can do kind of slow motion, just opening all the little pieces of the spine, open the chest, exhale, pull in the lower belly, pulling back. You're going to go at your own breathing rhythm, so just continue a few more times. Feel like you're opening the back. Trying to make the sound with the breath so you can hear your breathing as you're moving through these. Inhaling. And then after your last one, coming back to the hands and the knees. Press the fingertips into the floor. reach the sitting bones in one direction, reach the crown in the opposite direction, and soften the elbows so you're not locking your elbows. And feel the navel pulling in. Fill in that space between the shoulder blades. Okay, so it starts to heat up the body, just staying here, contracting the muscles and elongating through the spine. And then stretch out your right leg. Pick up your right leg, make it parallel with the floor. Pull in the lower belly. And then you're going to open your leg out to the side. You can flex the foot and put the foot down. Slide the foot all the way back to the opposite side and turn and look towards that foot. And coming back to center, replacing the knee down, stretch out the left leg, lift the leg, bringing it parallel with the floor, feel the navel pulling in, elongate through the crown of the head. And bring the leg out to the side, the left side, flex the foot. Trying to keep the hips more or less level. And slide the foot behind, all the way to the opposite side, turning to look there. And coming back to center, press the hands and coming back into puppy pose. I'm going to place the elbows on the floor. Maybe walk your knees back. Take your left arm, slide it under the right arm, and bring the ear and the shoulder to the floor. Pick up the opposite hand, wrapping around. Let the cat in. And replace the right hand down to the floor, coming up onto the forearms, and stretching the right arm under, ear, shoulder to the floor, left arm up, and reaching behind. And release the hand, put both hands to the floor, coming back up onto the hands and knees, and bring your sitting bones back towards the heels. Start to walk your hands towards you, lifting the knees and coming into this squatting position. So we'll do a couple of different versions. So if your heels are not on the floor, just keep your weight a little bit forward into the hands, and then inhale, open the chest. If your heels are on the floor and you can balance and release your hands, place the palms together at the heart center, and same thing, just feel like you're picking up the chest. So you're elongating the spine. You can either close the eyes or find a gazing point. And then you're going to kind of roll your spine forward. So tuck the chin, roll the head down, and maybe the tops of the hands or the forearms come down to the floor, and just drop the head here. And then slowly you're going to lift the buttocks up. Keep the knees bent so the thighs and the chest are always still touching. Interlace the fingers behind the head and allow the arms to fall over the head. And just relax the head, relax the arms, relax the shoulders. Just staying there for a couple breaths. Feeling the elongation through the spine. And then from here, maybe you can work on straightening one leg, inhaling, lengthening that side of the torso. Exhale back to the center. Inhale, straighten the other leg, lifting the torso. And back to the center. And inhaling, switching sides. Exhale to the middle. Inhale, exhaling. And working back and forth, just gently elongating the muscles behind the legs, the side of the torso, the spine, the buttocks. And then coming back to the center. Release the hands. Let the tops of the hands fall to the floor. Let the head, the shoulders, the arms be heavy. And you're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time to come to a standing position. Once you're there, coming to the front of the yoga mat, toes touching. We'll do some gentle sun salutations. So relax the shoulders, elongate the neck. Inhale, open the arms, raise them up. Just stay looking forward. Exhale, soften the knees, fold over the legs, relax the back of the neck. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, open the chest, long spine. Exhale, hands to the floor, and step the feet back. We'll pause in a plank position, and then lean forward, knees, pelvis, chest to the floor. Bring the toes so the toes are touching, and then press the heels away so the knees are off the floor. Press the hands, roll open the shoulders so you feel like the shoulders are about as level as the elbows. Keep pressing the heels away, strengthening the legs. And place the knees to the floor, press into the hands, coming back into puppy pose. You're gonna have a look at your hands, lift the palms so you're just on the fingertips, and then wiggle the fingertips forward. Keep the sitting bones feeling heavy towards the heels, and then press the palms back to the floor. Bring the ears between the upper arms, keeping the back of the neck long. And then come back to the breathing, listening to the sound of your breath. Pick up the sitting bones, pick up the knees, and step the feet back to the front. Inhale, hands on the shins, halfway up, lower belly pulling in. Exhale, soften the knees, relax the head down. Inhale, lead with the face, come all the way up, raising the arms. Exhale, arms to the sides. Inhale, raise the arms again. Exhale, folding over, soften the knees, relax the neck. Inhale, slide the hands up the shins, lower belly in, back straight. Exhale, both hands on the floor. Step the opposite foot back first this time. Pause in the plank. Lean forward, knees, pelvis, chest to the floor. Tuck the toes, press the heels away, roll open the shoulders. Breathing here for a little bit, keeping the chin tucked in. Keep pressing the heels away so the legs are nice and strong. Then all you're going to do is straighten the ankles. So the feet are off the floor, ankles are straight. Tuck the toes back under, press into the hands, pulling yourself back into puppy pose. Pressing all 10 fingers firm into the floor. See if you can make a little hollow between the two hip bones, so the low belly, Uddiyana Bandha. And then feel like you can slide the sternum forward, like the sternum is sliding to the place between the hands. And breathe. That's about 3, 4, and 5. Lift the buttocks, lift the knees, step the feet back to the front. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release over the legs. Inhale, lead with the chest, strong legs all the way to standing. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, folding over. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, hands to the floor, stepping back. Pausing in the plank. Make sure the elbows are not locked. Lean forward, knees, pelvis, chest. Tuck the toes, press the heels away. Roll open the shoulders, lift the shoulders about as high as the elbows. And then point the toes. Reach the ball of the big toes away from the head. Just holding it here. Firming the buttocks, firming the hamstrings. Feel the upper inner thighs trying to slide up towards the ceiling. Press the fingertips, especially if your wrists feel uncomfortable, the fingers have to push more into the floor. And tuck the toes, press into the hands, coming back, puppy pose. Lengthen out the spine. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lift the buttocks, lift the knees, step the feet forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, over the legs. Inhale, guide with the chest all the way to standing. Exhale, arms to the sides. Inhale, bend the knees, raise the arms. Exhale, you're going to fold over and see if you can keep your knees bent. Put the low ribs onto the thighs. Relax the head down, keeping the knees bent. And then walk your fingertips forward. Press into the fingertips. And then see if you can start to work towards straightening your legs. And then straighten the arms. And then lift the heels high from the floor. Keep the lower belly lifting up to the ceiling. Press the centers of the heels back to the floor. Press the hands on the floor and step one foot back and the other foot back. Pause in the plank position. Lean forward, knees, pelvis, chest down. Tuck the toes, press the heels, interlace the fingers behind the back, reach the hands away, but keep the head of the shoulder still sliding a little bit forward so it's connected. So the heels are pressing away, the legs are strong, chin is a little bit more neutral, and then point the toes. Tuck the toes, put the knees down, place the hands, and bring yourself back. But this time, instead of coming all the way to puppy pose, lift the lift the knees, press into the hands, and reach the sitting bones away. So you have a nice straight back. And then maybe from there you can work towards straightening one knee, bending it, maybe straightening the other, bending, and then gently, mindfully going back and forth, feeling the sensations, what it feels like to work towards straightening the knee, how it might change the lower belly, how it changes Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. And if you feel comfortable, maybe you straighten both knees. Lift the heels high from the floor. Bring the right foot to the right thumb. Lower the back knee to the floor. Coming up, lifting the torso. Feel like you're dropping the right sitting bone down, picking up the left thigh. Open the hands, raise them up, interlace the fingers, and then turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Reaching up high, reaching one side, other side, but the pelvis is staying steady. And then reaching both sides up. And then from here, keep that front knee over the heel and see if you can arc back slightly. And then come back to straight. Bring the left hand down, right arm up. Left hand to the inside of the foot. You're welcome to use blocks. Right arm up. And then exhale, both hands down. Lift the back knee and switch sides. Right foot forward. Right foot back, left foot forward. And lifting the torso up, drop the left thigh down, pick up the right thigh, evening out the pelvis. Open the hands, raise them up, crossing the opposite way, so it'll be the kind of weird feeling way, and then turn the palms up towards the sky. Reaching, slide one side, slide the other, and then slide both sides all the way up. And then from here, keep the pelvis steady, but reach the chest, like the chest is going to reach up towards the ceiling. So you're not just hanging back, you're always lifting up. Come back to perpendicular from the floor, right hand down, left hand up. And lower the left hand, press into the hands, step back, knees, pelvis, chest to the floor. Press the heels away, open the shoulders, interlace the fingers, reach the fingers away, point the toes. Keep the low ribs on the floor. Daniela, the low ribs have to touch. If you can go deeper, lift your legs higher. Tuck the toes. It's different, right? Press into the hands and pulling back into puppy pose. If you want, you can lift the knees, either bent knee downward dog or both legs straight. You decide, depends how you want to make it this evening. If you want to make it less or more dynamic. Lift the heels from the floor. Step the right foot to the thumb. And this time you're going to come up into this lunge. Same idea. Right thigh feels like it's coming back. Left thigh feels like it's lifting up. Open the hands. Interlace the fingers. Turn the fingers up towards the sky. And then slide one side, slide the other side, sliding both sides up, and then exhale, arcing back a little. Bring the spine neutral, left hand down to the floor, right arm up. And place both hands down, and you're going to step the right foot back, left foot forward. Inhale, coming up into this lunge. You have to feel like both upper inner thighs are sliding to Mula Bandha to keep yourself steady. Right buttocks are firming in. Open the arms, change the interlacing, turn the palms up. Slide one side up, slide the other, and then slide both sides of the waist up at the same time. And open the chest, arcing back. And coming back, right hand to the floor, left arm up. Keep pressing that back right heel away from you. And lower the hand, both hands to the floor, step back, pause in a plank, knees, pelvis, chest to the floor. Press the toes, reach the heels away, interlace the fingers, reach the hands away, and point the toes. And put the hands beside the waist, tuck the toes, and your choice. Puppy, downward dog, one or the other. Even child's pose if you're feeling a little more tired today, just come directly to child's pose. Looking forward, step one foot, second foot, inhale, halfway up, belly in. Exhale, soften the knees, bending forward. Keeping the knees bent, inhale, raise the arms. And exhale, releasing. So come to about the middle of the yoga mats. Finding Samasthiti. And you're going to bend your right knee, lift the knee up approximately parallel with the floor if that's possible. Use your fingertips. The fingertips push into Uddiyana Bandha, and then flex that right foot and feel like you're going to start to push a wall behind you as you press that foot back and bring the torso more or less parallel with the floor. It doesn't matter, it doesn't completely come parallel. And then see if you can come forward, bring that knee forward. And maybe you're able to straighten the leg out. And it doesn't matter how high the leg is, it might be 1 or 2 centimeters off the floor. You're still doing the same work. And release. Shake out the legs, do whatever you need to do. Second side. So you need to have a strong core, strong standing leg. The right leg needs to feel like a pillar into the ground. And then feel the left knee coming up approximately parallel with the thigh. Flex the left foot. And then you feel like you're pushing a wall behind you. So go mindfully as you're pressing that wall, then the torso is coming more or less parallel to the floor. And slowly coming back. Maybe you're able to straighten out that front knee. And then release, shake it out, do whatever you need to do. And then you're going to bend your knees, step out to the side so you're lengthwise on your mat, about 1 leg length, more or less. Okay, again, it depends how strenuous you want to make this. The wider it is, it's going to be a little bit more lengthening and you need to activate more muscles to hold it. Okay, so you want to feel the balls of the big toes pressing into the floor and the inner arches, the inner lines of the legs sliding up and connecting into Mula Bandha. Inhale, open the palms to the sides, raise them up, interlace the thumbs like a butterfly hands. Reach the fingers to the ceiling, feel that firming in of the front body, and then exhale, you're going to bring the torso parallel with the floor, and then a little bit more, and palms on the floor way out in front of you. So it's like you're doing a very wide-legged downward facing dog. Try to keep the pelvis the same level as the heels so the pelvis isn't sliding forward, right? It's not like this. I don't want the weight in my hands. I want the weight into the feet, but the hands are pushing into the floor. Then you're going to take your left hand, slide it back, and see if you can hold behind your right ankle. Slide your right hand to the side and see if you can pick up your right arm and turn the chest slightly to the side, but trying to keep the pelvis level the whole time. Place the right hand back down way in front of you. Stretch the left hand out. Press the 2 hands. Feel a nice straight spine here. Slide the right hand back. Take the back of the left ankle. Lengthen through the spine. Keeping the pelvis level. And then pick up the left arm. And release the left hand, stretch out the right hand, come high onto the fingertips, keep the pelvis level, and then wiggle those fingertips a little bit further forward, but the pelvis isn't moving. Open the arms to the sides, bring the back parallel with the floor, feel like the belly is reaching away from the floor. Press the feet, inhale, pick up the arms, interlace the thumbs the opposite way. Reach the fingertips high up to the sky. Start to lean forward. Feel the belly pulling away from the floor. Place the palms on the floor. And this time you're going to slide the hands back. And then at some point turn so the tops of the hands are on the floor. Okay, so the tops of the hands are on the floor behind you. And you're welcome to bend the knees. Okay, if that's needed, always do that. And the tops of the hands are firm into the floor. So you're actively pushing them into the floor. So you feel your shoulder blades coming on the back body. Shoulders are reaching away from the floor. Slide your hands halfway forward and then start to bend your right knee. Walk your hands towards your right foot. The left outer foot starts to come off the floor. And then you're going to come and sit down on that leg. Let's make sure that's okay for everybody. It's a bit, maybe more than a gentle class, but as I see, I know most of you. Okay, so pick up the arms, interlace the thumbs, reaching up high, and then you're going to start to spin like you're going to look towards your upper knee, and then you're going to start to lean to the side, let the left elbow come down, right arm over the ear. Find a gazing point, steady the gaze, and tune back into your breathing. Release the right hand to the floor, press the two hands, lift the sitting bones, and walk yourself all the way over to the other side. Lower the right leg to the floor. Open the arms, change the crossings of the thumbs. Stretch yourself up nice and high. Turn the torso towards the bent knee. And then lean over the right side, the right elbow on the inside of the knee. Just lengthening out that left side of the torso. Feel the neck is long. Feel the rib cage moving with the breath. And putting the hand back to the floor. Lean forward, press into the hands, lift the sitting bones. Place both hands directly under the face. Open the arms to the sides. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, just wiggle the feet together, lowering the arms. Coming to the fronts of the mats, toes together. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, soften at the knees as you fold over. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, palms to the floor, stepping the feet back, pausing in a plank pose. Knees, pelvis, chest to the floor. And let's do another Shalabhasana. Just keep the hands where they are and point the toes. Strengthening the back. Tuck the toes, press into the hands, reaching the sitting bones back, puppy pose. And then point the toes and come up to sit. Come and sit on one side of the heels and release the legs out. Okay, so you're going to straighten the legs out in front of you. Bring the hands on the thighs. And then keep the chin tucked in, and you're going to see if you can roll down to come lying down on the back. Like you're going to roll out one vertebrae at a time. Until the head is down. And then bring the soles of the feet close to the buttocks. Place the hands on the mid-thighs. Press into the mid-thighs, straightening the arms. And then at the same time, you're going to inhale, stretch the arms over the head towards the floor as you lift the pelvis up. Exhale, lower the pelvis, bring the hands back onto the mid-thighs. Press into the thighs, feel the chest opening. Inhale, stretch the arms over the head as you lift the pelvis from the floor. Taking a couple of breaths here. Exhale, coming back. Press the hands into the thigh, making space at the fronts of the groins. Pulling Mula Bandha if you know this. Inhale, stretch the arms up, lift the hips, and then we're going to see if we can stay here. Exhale completely, exhale all the air out of the body, and then try to hold the breath. And when you need to take an inhale, bringing the arms back towards the sides, lowering the pelvis. Then bring the knees towards the chest, flex the feet, press the feet towards the ceiling like you're holding up the ceiling with your feet. Check that you've got the legs perpendicular to the floor. Pull in the navel. Tuck the chin in, interlace the fingers behind the head, and keep pulling the chin in. Bring the right leg towards you, left leg just hovering from the floor, so not touching the floor. Just holding here. And then lift the left leg. Lower the right leg. Try to keep the kneecaps neutral. And if it's not feeling good on the neck, just put the head back down. Inhale, lift the right leg, lower the left leg, and bring the left elbow to the right knee. Press the sacrum into the floor. And lift the left leg, lower the right, bring the right elbow to the left knee. Try to keep the pelvis neutral and level. And lifting both legs, place the head back to the floor. Bring the knees towards the chest. Just relax here for a moment. You can interlace the fingers, let the shoulders feel heavy. Relax the neck. And then stretch out the right leg onto the floor. Hook the toes of the left foot under the right thigh. Stretch your arms to the sides, and then pick up the pelvis and kind of turn so you're on the right side of your hip. And let the knee come towards the side. And if you want, you can put your hand on that knee. The left hand you can put on the hip or bend the elbow. Just make sure it's not hurting your shoulder, especially if the shoulder is off the floor. Just bend that elbow. Do what feels good for you. Close the eyes. Listening to the breathing. And coming back up, stretching out the left leg, bringing the right toes under that thigh, pick up the pelvis, come to the left side of the pelvis, stretch the arms out, and let that knee fall to the side. And so if your shoulder's way off the floor like this, then I find it more comfortable to bring the arm down a little bit. Just close the eyes, tune in with your breathing. Feel the rib cage expanding with each breath. And then coming back up, you can roll to one side, coming up to a sitting position. So we're going to do a couple of restorative poses. So if it's cold where you are, you should take your sweater back, put your socks back on, maybe dim the lights, can be nice. And if you have an eye pillow, this is always nice as well. And if you have a couple of blankets, then you take the blankets, and you can also use big beach towels too, anything that's kind of thick. And you want to have them in this kind of size, okay? And then you're going to take it. You could also use a bolster, but I don't know if everybody has bolsters. You can roll it so you have this kind of long tube, like this. And then we're going to have that tube go vertically on our yoga mat. And so you can use one of those, or if you happen to have two blankets, because if some of you probably know this already, is to lie over that, something like that. And so if you really want to work on opening the chest, then you could also put a second blanket, or you can use a bolster if a couple of you, let's see if any of you have bolsters there. But then you start the same way, you make this blanket, make sure there's no lumps in it so it's nice and comfy, and you make another tube, and you can stack that tube on this one. Okay, I'm just going to see what you guys are doing and make sure everybody has some sort of comfortable setup. You can let the toes hang to the sides. Are you okay, Salima? Are you confused? Maybe you haven't done a restorative class. Look, if you take yourself and you sit close, so your sitting bones are on the floor, but you sit close to your setup, and then you lie over this. Okay, and then you can just separate the feet, open the arms. How you place the arms will change it a little bit. So the arms out to the side will stretch across the chest. If you bend the elbows, you might get a deeper stretch, but you need to make sure that that's going to be comfortable for you. Okay, so if at any point it's not feeling good, you just come out. Okay, you don't force yourself to stay there. I'm going to guide you with your breathing. So starting with the pelvis, see that the pelvis pelvis feels heavy here. Just relax the bones of the pelvis. Beatrice, you should put your hands on your thighs or your belly with if you're that high up, I think maybe for your shoulder. Yeah. Okay, so feel the pelvis is heavy. And then bring your breath, your mind back to your breath. Still trying to do a soft sound with the breath. So Ujjayi breathing. And see if you can make the breath even. So that means the inhales and the exhales the same length. Still using that swirling feeling at the back of the throat, like you're whispering your breath. Notice the expansion in the rib cage with each inhale. Even feel the push of the back of the rib cage into your prop. And keeping the breathing. Notice if you're able to relax the jaw. Relax behind the neck. Try to relax inside the mouth. So the tongue feels relaxed, palate, the insides of the cheeks. Then relaxing around the mouth, the lips, the outer cheeks, the nose. Relaxing the eyes, the eyelids, behind the eyes, all around the eyes, including the eyebrows, and the point between the eyebrows. Relaxing the forehead, coming back to the whispering breath, but make it more subtle. You're going to slowly bend the knees. And stretch one arm a little over the head and roll to that side. And just use your arm as a pillow. Just relaxing on one side. Then slowly making your way back up to a sitting position. Trying to move as little as possible. And then you're going to come to your setup here, and you're going to bring your right waist, your right hip bone, right beside it. Just bring the legs to the sides in any way that's kind of comfortable there. And then you're going to take your hands on either side of that prop. And you're going to lengthen through the spine. And you're going to turn your chest down towards the bolster or the blankets. And it's going to be, depends on your neck, because you might just stay facing the same direction as the knees. Or you might lift and turn your face towards the opposite side. Just relax the arms. Let whatever wants to happen with the feet happen. Especially if you don't have a very high prop. So you're getting a little bit of a twist. Once again, going through the scan of the body. Checking the feet are relaxed. Legs are relaxed. Let the torso feel heavy. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the arms. Once you feel like the body is nice and relaxed, bring your awareness back to your breath, your own breath. So just doing a very subtle ujjayi, more relaxing ujjayi rather than a stimulating ujjayi. Just enough so you can hear your breathing, and that sound can calm the nervous system. And then very slowly, trying not to disturb the calm, even trying not to open the eyes, you slowly come up and just turn to the other side. So you're doing the same pose on the second side. And then doing a little body scan. Noticing the feet. Are you able to relax the feet, the ankles, the legs? Are you able to relax the shoulders, the neck, the arms? And try to bring yourself back to this very gentle, soft ujjayi. Then very slowly coming back up to sit. Again, trying not to disturb the calm. The last one we'll do is a wide-kneed child's pose. So you can use your prop and you bring the toes together, open the knees, and you just come and you lie over your blankets or your bolsters. And if you're feeling like you don't have enough height, if you just like wave at me, I might be able to help you. For instance, if you don't have any props, if you have a sofa nearby and you're feeling like, because if you feel like this is too stretching too much, you could also put your head on a sofa or a chair if you don't have a bolster. Basically, you want to be comfortable, so do what it takes. And if this pose isn't comfortable, just change it, do something else. And then see if you can once again let the muscles melt. Now slowly letting go of any ujjayi at all. So the breath, allow it to become quieter and almost to the point that the breath is imperceivable. Just pick up the face, turn the head to the opposite side. And then very slowly, once again, just moving with the eyes closed to come to a sitting position. Make sure you're sitting comfortably. Allowing the pelvis and the legs to feel heavy and relaxed. Allowing the shoulders, the neck, the jaw to soften. relaxing the facial muscles. Allow the mind to settle. So imagine the mind is all settling down to the bottom of a beautiful blue sea. It's all settling into the brain stem, the base of the skull. Bringing the palms at the front of the chest. We can just chant one Om. And then rub the palms together, warm up the palms. Bring the hands over the eyes. Opening the eyes behind the palms. And slowly releasing the